A Victorville widow says she's lost her rock and wants answers from the San Bernardino County Sheriff about the in-custody death of her husband. Dante Parker was stunned several times last week during a confrontation with the deputy. As CBS 2 Inland Empire reporter Tom Wade explains, the family wants an independent investigation.
I raised him as a human being, and he shouldn't have had to go out like an animal.
Overcome by anger and sadness, the mother of Dante Parker lashed out at police today over the death of her son. Parker died after a San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputy shot him with a taser. It happened in Victorville last week. His wife is also just beginning to cope with the loss.
He had a family to come home to. He was our provider. He was the rock of our family. And I don't want to go through life being a bitter person, but I feel myself having a whole bunch of anger.
Family members spoke out at a news conference organized by the Victorville NAACP. Leaders are calling for an independent investigation.
To us, this is another grim reminder of our country's broken, ineffective, and unjust system of policing.
The incident unfolded here on the 13,000 block of Bucknell Court last Tuesday. According to the Sheriff's Department, someone called to report a break-in. When deputies arrived, the caller identified Parker as the suspect. As the deputy tried to arrest Parker, he allegedly became combative. The deputy also says it appeared he was under the influence. A taser was used multiple times. Parker was eventually cuffed and taken to the hospital where he died. The family believes there's more to the story.
My husband was not aggressive. He was disorientated.
Parker was a father of 5 and worked for the local newspaper in Victorville. His birthday was 2 days after his death. Today, his wife read from his birthday card.
Your presence adds something special and invaluable to the world. You bring joy to those who love you and a smile to everyone you meet.
In Victorville, Tom Waite, CBS 2 News.
Right now at 10, the Milwaukee police officer who shot Dontre Hamilton 14 times at Red Arrow Park has been fired. Chief Ed Flynn says Officer Christopher Manny made an error in judgment when he patted down Dontre Hamilton last April.
Hamilton's family is pleased with today's firing, but they still want criminal charges against the officer.
We have team coverage. Charles Benson talked to the Hamilton family.
But we begin with Katie Crowther, who has more on Chief Flynn's comments. Katie?
Carol and Mike, Chief Flynn says by not following proper police training and protocol, Officer Christopher Manny put himself in a position where he had to use deadly force, and now he must be held accountable. It was April 30th in Red Arrow Park where Officer Christopher Manny came into contact with 31-year-old Dontre Hamilton, who was known to be mentally ill.
When you are approaching a mentally ill person who is not being engaged in violent behavior or criminal behavior, there's a set of trainings and approaches that you are taught. And you don't go hands-on and start frisking somebody only because they appear to be mentally ill.
That's what Chief Flynn says Officer Manny did. A pat-down mistake that led to a violent confrontation and the use of deadly force. We went to Officer Manny's home to try and get comment from him. There are some accusations that Flynn's decision to fire Officer Manny is politically motivated, a claim he denies.
This is my decision alone, based on the facts of this case and our responsibility to hold ourselves accountable. And anybody else who says something else is doing their own brand of politicking.
There's already a Facebook page in support of Officer Manny and rumors that fellow officers will be taking action in protest of the chief's decision.
There's certainly going to be a subset of police opinion that's going to say, hey, wait a minute, we had a copper who was fighting for his life, used deadly force, and you're firing him. Okay? I understand that. My inner cop is not dead.
But Flynn says he has a responsibility to the department and city to make sure there are consequences for any officer's bad decision, especially when the outcome is deadly. Chief Flynn also acknowledged that Officer Manny is obviously going through a very difficult time and he should not be demonized. Also, it's worth pointing out that starting in January, all Milwaukee police officers will be going through additional training in how to deal with people who are mentally ill. Reporting live downtown, Katie Crowther, today's TMJ4.
Yeah, that training is critical. Thank you very much, Katie.
America's largest police force is facing a serious controversy over a video that's gone viral showing officers arresting a suspect who later died. The video is wrenching, and here's ABC's Ron Claiborne.
In the video, you can see 43-year-old Eric Garner confronted by two plainclothes officers for allegedly peddling illegal cigarettes. The officers move in to arrest him. One of them puts his forearm around Garner's neck. More police join in, pinning him to the ground as he cries out. The father of 6 was rushed to a local hospital where he died.
It just snatched my heart right out my chest, like I'm an empty shell right now.
No justice, no peace.
The incident has stirred racial tensions in this city.
An unarmed man was subjected to a chokehold, and the result is he is no longer with us.
As he spoke, Garner's wife collapsing by his side. At issue is whether Garner was placed in a chokehold, a tactic banned by New York City police.
It's defined in the department's patrol guide that this would appear to have been a chokehold.
Police officers also appear to sit on Garner once he was on the ground, which could violate another NYPD policy.
And 2 of the arresting officers have been placed on desk duty while the incident is investigated by both police and prosecutors. This pending autopsy results to determine the cause of Garner's death. And tonight, the Patrolman Officers Union tells ABC News that at the time that sometimes police have to employ the use of force in order to get compliance from an individual. The union went on to say that when taken out of context, necessary force can be misinterpreted, Dan, as excessive.
A lot more to come on this story.
A lot more.
Ron, thank you.